Wait, did a new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 leak just reveal a decision that could make foldable fans furious? Because if the latest reports are accurate, Samsung is about to launch the Galaxy Z Fold 8 and Galaxy Z Flip 8 in 2026, while sticking with the same display material it's been using since 2024. That means the foldables a lot of people have been waiting for, Z Fold 8, Z Flip 8, and even a rumored third model called the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide could all ship with Samsung's N13 OLED panels again. Meanwhile, the Galaxy S26 Ultra is expected to get Samsung's newer N14 display tech. So the big question is simple. Why is Samsung giving its most expensive, most premium foldable phones older display technology, while the Ultra slab phone gets the newest panel? Before you assume Samsung is cutting corners, there's a lot more going on here, and once you see the full picture, this might go from Samsung messed up to Samsung is making a calculated move. Let's break down what the leak says, what N13 versus N14 actually means in real life, what Samsung might be prioritizing for the Z Fold 8 and Z Flip 8, and whether this display decision is a real problem or just a headline that sounds worse than it is. According to ET News, a Korean publication with a solid track record for Samsung supply chain info, Samsung is preparing 3 foldable phones for its 2026 summer lineup: the Galaxy Z Flip 8, the Galaxy Z Fold 8, and a third device reportedly called the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide. And here's the detail that sparked the controversy. All 3 are expected to use Samsung Display's N13 OLED material. If that's true, it means Samsung foldables will have used the same generation of display material for 3 years in a row, starting with the Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Galaxy Z Flip 6 in 2024, continuing through the 2025 models, and then repeating again with the Z Fold 8 and Z Flip 8 in 2026. At the same time, leaks suggest the Galaxy S26 Ultra is moving to N14. Now, here's where some people get confused, because you'll see different names floating around on N13 versus N14, or sometimes M13 versus M14, depending on how reports translate the material naming. For SEO and clarity, the point is the same either way. There's an older old material stack and a newer one, and the newer one is going to the Ultra, not the foldables. But it's also important to add this. The leak claims the regular Galaxy S26 and Galaxy S26 Plus may also stick with N13, not N14. So the foldables aren't the only Samsung flagships staying on the older material. The Ultra is simply getting special treatment as usual. Now let's talk about what N13 versus N14 actually means. Because this is where the Samsung is downgrading foldables narrative can get exaggerated. In everyday use, the newer display material is typically associated with 3 main benefits: higher brightness, better power, efficiency, and longer lifespan. N14 can be roughly 20 to 30% brighter than N13. That doesn't mean your phone will suddenly look twice as bright, but it can make a real difference in the moments that matter most: direct sunlight, outdoor use, bright reflections, filming video outside, reading maps on a sunny day, or trying to frame a photo when the screen is fighting the sun. Then there's efficiency. A newer old material stack can produce the same brightness using less power, which helps battery life. And on a foldable, battery life is already a sensitive topic because foldables have large displays, complex hinges, and less room for huge batteries compared to thick slab phones. And the third benefit is longevity. Some reports suggest N14 could last 10 to 20% longer than N13. That can translate to reduced burn-in risk and better long-term durability. Old burn-in isn't the monster it used to be. But if you keep a phone for years, and foldables are expensive enough that people want to keep them longer, panel longevity still matters. So yes, on paper, it sounds like Samsung foldable buyers are missing out on brightness, efficiency, and durability upgrades. But here's the part most headlines don't explain. Samsung's decision starts making more sense when you follow the money. And when you consider the current component market, smartphone parts are getting more expensive. And it's not just inflation as a vague excuse. Multiple cost pressures are happening at the same time. RAM pricing has been under pressure because AI is driving massive demand in servers and data centers, which impacts supply and pricing for memory components overall. Storage pricing also fluctuates, and camera components, periscope modules, hinge mechanisms, vapor chambers, and premium materials aren't getting cheaper either. More than any other phone category, have expensive mechanical engineering costs. Hinges, internal frame reinforcement, creased management, ultra-thin glass, multiple displays, and a design that needs far tighter tolerances than a normal phone. None of that is cheap. So, if Samsung upgrades everything at once: newest display material, LATEST chips, more RAM, better cameras, stronger hinge, improved durability, the final price of the Galaxy Z Fold 8 could climb into a range that even many enthusiasts won't accept. And Samsung knows this market better than anyone, because Samsung basically built the modern foldable category. Foldables don't sell like Galaxy S Ultra phones. They sell to a smaller audience, and pricing matters more than people admit. So here's the strategic trade-off. Samsung may be making stick with the proven N13 display material so it can spend the budget where users will notice it more. For example, if Samsung keeps N13, it might have more room to offer higher RAM configurations, like 12 GB or 16 GB widely, improve cooling, upgrade camera hardware, or invest in stronger hinge durability, without pushing the price up dramatically. And we've already seen signs that Samsung is willing to raise prices in other segments. Even mid-range Galaxy S series devices have been creeping upward. Premium devices can hide increases better. But even premium has a breaking point, especially in a category where many buyers are still deciding whether foldables are worth it at all. Now, does this mean the Galaxy Z Fold 8 and Z Flip 8 displays will be identical to 2024? Not necessarily. One of the most interesting details in the reports is that even if Samsung uses the same N13 material family, the panels themselves may still be improved year to year. Manufacturing gets refined. Efficiency can improve. Uniformity can improve. Samsung Display can optimize the stack, reduce material usage, and still hit the same or better performance targets. So think of it like this. It might be the same generation, name, but not the exact same panel experience as the first N13 implementation. That's why this story is more nuanced than Samsung is recycling old screens. Now let's talk about how this affects each 2026 foldable model, because the impact isn't equal across the lineup. For the Galaxy Z Flip 8, sticking with N13 is probably the least dramatic. Flip phones are often used like regular phones most of the time. Yes, the internal display matters, but the way people use the flip short sessions, lots of cover screen use. Quick interactions means display material differences may be harder to notice unless you're outside constantly. For the Galaxy Z Fold 8, it's a bigger conversation. The Fold is a productivity device. People buy it to use the large screen for multitasking, spreadsheets, editing, reading, split-screen apps, and watching content. Higher peak brightness and better efficiency can matter more here, because you're using a bigger canvas for longer periods. And then there's the wild card, the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide. If the Z Fold 8 Wide rumor is real, it could be Samsung's answer to wider, more tablet-like foldables. From competitors' devices, people compare to the Huawei Mate X series style of big screen ambition. If Samsung plans to position a wide model as extra premium, then the display is part of the marketing. In that case, using the newest display material would have been an easy win.